Hey, how's it going? All right, so every tech device has a basic life cycle. Eventually it'll fail and die or just becomes too old to support the latest software. Or sometimes you just want to refresh on something. So if you're like me, I don't buy the latest hardware every year. I don't have the latest smartphone. I don't have the latest tablet. I don't have the latest computer. I'm generally in a 2 to 3 year life cycle. That's just how I do things. For example, I'm on the Galaxy S10. I had an S7, so that was a 3 year cycle. I went from a Mac Mini 2014 to a 2018. All right, so I've had a 5th generation 2017 iPad for the past 3 years, and it's time to upgrade. So I'm upgrading to an iPad Pro 2020 11-inch edition. So in this video, I'll show how I was using the old system, the accessories I had, and then how it compares to the new system, and see what kind of upgrade it is. Okay, first thing we're gonna look at is the old hardware. So here's the case and keyboard that I had for it. It's from a company called Cooper Cases. I think it was about 60 bucks. You can see the hinge finally gave way. It was great until that broke, and it was nice to have the backlit keyboard. The keyboard, you can actually change the colors of the backlight, and overall pretty good. Had all the function keys in the top. You can see a little bit of the blue here. Definitely handy in the dark. So here's the packaging for the original iPad. It's an iPad Wi-Fi. That's what they call them. They keep changing the names, but you just get your iPad, the instructions, and the power supply. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Here's the power supply that used to have the prongs that pop up like that, and the old connector type. They since switched to the USB-C type. Here's another case that I had just as a backup when that other one broke. And we'll just get a close-up look here at the iPad and do a couple little comparisons. You can see the button there. There's the 2 speakers on the side, like I mentioned. And overall, it's in really good condition. Performance is still decent, and you can see it here. The screen trying to demonstrate the smoothness. Obviously not, you can't capture exactly what I see in person, but still pretty responsive. It's a nice device. And then we'll have it right beside the iPad Pro 11-inch. Has the Folio keyboard. I'm trying to demonstrate there. The iPad Pro has 120 frames per second, and just showing a couple things. Maximum brightness, and a little bit. The screen is a little bit bigger on the iPad Pro 11-inch. I think it's a 9.7 on the old iPad. Definitely tell it's a little bit more responsive, and just a nice upgrade. Pretty cool to see the side by side and how they compare. So there we go. Now let's have a sound test. Let's get started, just like the card said. So there you go, there's a sound test. Again, it's hard to show a sound test unless you're in person, but hopefully you could hear the Pro had more low end and just richer sound. So here's all the packaging that comes with the everything that I got. The iPad Pro, the keyboard, there's also a pencil. Just gonna show you some magical unboxings here that I worked on. It's just some stop motion animation stuff that I like to do in most of my videos. So you get to see everything that's in it. This is the Folio keyboard sliding in. Smart Keyboard Folio. I had the name wrong. I'm saying everything backwards, but the words don't mean anything. So here's what you get inside. Pull off the cellophane, and it's a keyboard. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty cool. Here's the pencil coming in, the Apple Pencil. You can actually customize these. You can get your name put on it, or I just chose to have it say pencil because I don't really care what it says on it because I don't look at it. That doesn't matter to me. So here's what you get inside. And so there's my setup, a new replacement. It's pretty cool. Just some close-ups on the side. You can see I mentioned it has 4 speakers, so you got 2 on each side. Got the power connector in the middle there. Close-up of the keyboard. I believe it's spill-proof. Power button on the side there, and then at the top you got the volume rockers. Is that what they're called? Rockers? The volume buttons. I don't know. Rockers is the right term. Close-up of the pencil here. The tips are replaceable. I didn't realize that at first, but yeah, you can swap them out. You can get them in like the 4-pack replacements if they do eventually wear off. I'm not sure how much use it'll take to wear off. So far they've been fine. You see there the connector, and the really cool thing with them is when you put the pencil on top, you can see the connection there. It charges from the top of the iPad. Really handy. So, and it's magnetic, so it always stays on there. So let's just take a look at a couple things here. This is LumaFusion. This is some video editing software that I actually used to make this video that you're watching now, and just a couple little demonstrations of how that works with the keyboard and with the pencil. And I really like the pencil for thumbnails and stuff like that. I do a lot of drawings and stuff like that. The pencil is really great for that. And just showing here how the timeline works in LumaFusion. If you haven't heard of LumaFusion, check it out. It's kind of like a Final Cut Pro alternative for if you're working on your iPad Pro. Hopefully one day Final Cut Pro is available on the iPad Pro. Here's a little bit of gaming. This is Mortal Kombat, the mobile edition. And then here's just some pencil demonstrations. Just writing a nice note to everybody so they can see that. Great. Just another demo here of the actual thumbnails. I'm working in a program called Pixelmator, and I like to do my thumbnails in here. Really handy. You can do some hand-drawn stuff. So cool. Exactly. I don't even have to say it. It's all in the writing. Yeah, so very handy to have that as an alternative to using a mouse. Now let's just take a look side-by-side specs. You can read along as we take a look. This is the old one on the left. I was right, 9.7. And you got the 2020 11 on the side, on the other side, sorry. So you got left and right. And you can have a look at the specs if this stuff matters to you. I mentioned the 120 hertz refresh rate, so that's 120 frames per second. It looks like iPad OS, I'm not sure if it's capped out at 13.4 on the iPad Wi-Fi, or if they're going to keep going. I've since sold it, so I don't have it anymore at this point. Definitely a big upgrade when it comes to the camera. Camera isn't something that's killer or that necessary for me. I don't know if killer is the right word. Game breaker. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You just read the numbers. The numbers mean good things and stuff, right? Yeah, you can see the big difference in the cameras for sure, though. The resolution, the megapixels, and then just a few more details about the actual size and the weight, and the battery. The battery, and the last part here, we're just going to take a look at the keyboard and hear some clicky clickies. You can hear what it sounds like. And just one last thing here, just a quick demo of the camera. Again, it's not something that I typically will use on an iPad. I just don't find it that functional. Just the angle of holding it up, and it's like you're holding a baking pan using a camera. So here's the front camera. You can see the camera that I'm using to record this. It's a Sony AX53. And yeah, just want to give a quick demo of the camera. If that's something you're interested in. It's a great camera for sure, but no doubt about that. So, got to see all the differences between the two. Now let's go over some pros and cons I have for each. So for the 2017 model, it's still responsive to this date. I don't have any lag on it. It's a great iPad. It doesn't support the new Apple Pencil, so that's one thing that is missing. I'm sure there's other things, but it does support iPad OS, which is pretty cool. The add-on keyboard has been a nice add-on. It was about $60 when I bought it 3 years ago, so that's been great to have. I know most people don't use an add-on keyboard like that, and I don't know many people that have iPads. Pros for the 2020 iPad Pro. It's got Pro in the name. That's not one of them. It's got a bigger screen response. The 4-speaker audio system is, I'd say, amazing. I didn't have any expectations for that. It has low end. It has highs. The audio on the iPad Pro is amazing. For what you might expect from a tablet, at least for the audio from the 2017 iPad up to the Pro, it's an amazing jump. It's quite the jump. And the screen is amazing to look at on the iPad Pro as well. I haven't had a chance to check out the Magic Keyboard, but the keyboard folio is great, and I'm really liking it. Going to cons, I don't like to get into too much negative stuff, but I'll say what my experience was with the 2017. The third-party keyboard, this isn't an Apple device, but the keyboard did disconnect once in a while. I'd be typing and then the on-screen keyboard would pop up and kind of mess up what I was doing. Didn't happen that often, but it does happen, and that's a Bluetooth problem. And the audio was just okay. It had stereo audio coming out of one side. So I generally had it in landscape mode with the audio shooting out one direction, not the music. And yeah, it wasn't that great. It was okay. Overall volume wasn't very loud. Cons that I've noticed so far on the 2020 Pro, and this is all subjective, this is just me. Not having a home button takes a little bit of getting used to, but I am getting used to it. I'm very used to clicking on the little circle, and the replacement for that is swiping up a little bar that's on the bottom. And the camera upgrade, I guess it's nice. Doesn't really seem necessary to me. Will I be using the camera? We'll find out. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you've upgraded from an older iPad to the new one, or maybe you have some other experiences with iPad in general, and you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer. Again, I'm Landon. This is Lando27Tech. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and until the next video, take care.